Being a mum has its problems. Teething tots to tantruming toddlers, all the way to troubled teens. What a nightmare. But can you imagine studying for your GCSEs with a book in one hand and a baby in the other? Let's hear the tales of what it's like to be a young mum.
Hi, I'm Linda.
I'm Tracy Shawcross.
My name's Chloe Williams,
This is my
and this is my story.
And this is my story. When I was 16, I fell pregnant whilst doing my GCSEs. Unfortunately, I decided to have an abortion due to the fact of the child's father not wanting to know. I had problems with his family arguing with me to keep it, as well as my family wanting me to get rid of it. 2 years down the line, I had another pregnancy, and that's where my little girl came from.
Basically, I fell pregnant at 17, had my daughter at 18. I was in a relationship with Tilly's donor, as I call him. 3 months after we'd split, I'd found out that I was pregnant. I was 16 weeks when I was pregnant. So I had a discussion with her donor, and it turns around and he said to me, I don't want to know, go and get yourself an abortion.
Unfortunately, I had my first experience of finding out I was pregnant as a teenager. I was in my last year of school, just after my 16th birthday party. Fell ill, thought I had a terrible cold, and then unfortunately at the doctors in front of me mum and dad, I found out that it was positive, this pregnancy test, when I was determined it wasn't. When I was finishing college, I met my first son's dad, and then got pregnant again with my oldest child, who's 17 now. I had Kyle New Year's Eve, which was a really good New Year's Eve actually, the best one that I had with his dad.
Pregnancy comes with its own ups and downs, but for 1 in 10 women after giving birth, they suffer from postnatal depression.
Right, when I first had Millie, my depression was I didn't really want to know her. When she was first born, I was blaming myself for her being early. So, because that was my fault in my head, it took me 2 hours to go down and see her. When I finally did go down and see her, she wasn't as bad as what I was expecting to see. But once we finally got home, that's when my depression really kicked in. The night feeds, getting up, I started to resent her, started to think, why did I have her?
So because I have a postnatal depression with my children, I feel that I'm able to offer that empathy with parents. You've got that bit more of understanding of where they're coming from, the isolation. You know, having a baby is a wonderful, wonderful thing. However, it can be one of the loneliest times as well. The younger mums always seem to be the ones that had the tougher time. They always seem to be the ones that needed to prove something.
Like, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I do everything that I can for Tilly, and I did do at the start. I kind of stopped having friends. Well, I stopped having friends anyway because I fell pregnant. Like, my friends just kind of walked away from me. So I became a young mum, single mum, and a carer for my mum as well.
Going from being pregnant in an abusive relationship to having my child in an abusive relationship, that made me severely depressed and high anxiety. From leaving that relationship, I still have the depression to this day. The anxiety is really not as bad as it was. But now in this new relationship that I'm in, it's everything he does that slightly resembles my ex. It's flashback. What's going to happen? Is it going to go wrong? Is it going to go this way? And when we have rows, I'm ready to be hit again.
Each child you have is different. The circumstances are different as well. Because you think, now, I'm not a mum who's on benefits, who was struggling even though I had family support and everything. I'm a mum now who's got a good career. If my son wants something now, I don't have to save for it. I can just, if he needs it, I can give it him now.
We all look at our mums like they're superwomen, but let's find out how teenage mums cope with the pressure of motherhood.
It was hard being a single mum, but then it was just natural, it was just normal, it was just me and Kyle doing what we needed to do. So it wasn't easy. I am a very lucky person where I had the support of my family. What do we do? Like, she's been sick, what do we do? Or why is she poorly? I didn't know anything. If she had a temperature, I was like, what do we do? How much Calpol do we give her? The only support that I had was from my dad. My dad and Tilly, I've got the most amazing bond
ever.
Did you know that in 2015, 40% of teenage mothers left school with no qualifications? This doesn't mean they all amount to nothing, does it?
So I was very lucky. My mum had heard of a cleaning job going, and there's one thing I knew I could sell myself in doing is cleaning, because I was always cleaning my house as a single mum. So when I went for my interview, I know I'd not done, in people's eyes, I'd not done much for years. Did a good job because I got that job, and then luckily the company seen something in me and put me through to do my life-saving course. So I jumped at the opportunity because, strangely enough, it was something I did as a work experience when I was in school at 15, and a line that I wanted to go down. So when I passed, there was a job there straight away for me as a casual lifeguard.
After I left school, I went to college for 2 years. At the end of the last couple of months, I found out I was pregnant. Still completed the course and kept to my 2 jobs that I'd had since the day I left school. So not being pregnant's not stopped me from achieving anything, doing what you need to, go to college or anything.
The bond between a mother and a child is unbreakable. But after all the tears and the tantrums, how do they feel now?
She's just amazing. She's like my little best friend. And I just think like being a mum, a young mum, is like the best thing that can ever happen, because it's not just made me realise like what being a mum is, but it's made me be me. It's made me be like the person who I am and be stronger in myself, because I've just had to.
But me and her now, through everything that's gone on, really do have a strong bond. She is a mummy's girl. She clings to me for dear life. With anything happens or goes wrong, it's mummy she wants.
I remember sitting there with Will Smith, just the two of us. I know it's a dad singing to his kid, but it was just a song, just the two of us. And I was sat there in the room, this bump, and I'm playing with him. And that's the first time like I felt his hand, little like pins go across my hand. And it knocked me sick, but then it was like, I'm gonna have to do everything to protect this child.
Even super mums need help sometimes. But where can they get this help?
Decided to breastfeed when I first gave birth, and the help you get with that wasn't amazing at the time. It's a lot better now, seeing as I have friends who had kids recently and have the help and support to breastfeed, but I didn't, so that didn't last long with me.
Weren't too sure if he was getting fed enough. Asked the question. Next minute I had a nurse come round with a knitted boob and a doll, try to show me how to breastfeed and stuff. It was like they were talking down to you more than when I had it the first time, when I just thought I could do it and just carried on.
If parents are struggling and need additional support, then we can refer them to different agencies to help offer that support. We've got an early attachment team, so they can go out and work with young parents on building that attachment and bond up with their child. We have got an Home Start, which is a voluntary service which can go up and help young parents with day-to-day activities, say helping them to go to play groups if they're shy because they're all worried that they might be judged. We have got nurseries, so we can refer them at the age of 2 to nurseries for a 2-year funding if they meet the criteria for that. There is early help, which is more going on to the safeguarding side, which can offer support and guidance to these young mums to prevent them from getting to the safeguarding route.
Looking back at these young mum stories, support is there. Just go through your local health visitor scheme and get the help you need. Don't make your story a tough one. So what do you think of young mums now? #YoungMumsTS